Hello, today we're going to talk about graphing linear equations. And when we graph linear equations, there are two things that we really want to know about our lines, and those are the slope and the y-intercept. And when you're given a line in slope-intercept form, it really makes it easy for you to determine what that slope and that y-intercept are. This y equals mx plus b is called slope-intercept form. Because it tells you both the slope of your line and the y-intercept of your line. So the m right here stands for slope. And when we have an m, we typically want to write that in some sort of fractional form where the top number is our change in y and the bottom number is our change in x. When we have that fraction, it tells us how to move along the graph. The second number over here, this b, is the y-intercept. It's where our line crosses the y-axis. So we're going to graph four lines together, so let's go through those. In this first line, in part A, we're told that we have y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4. So this is already written in that y equals mx plus b form, where m in this problem is negative 2/3. I like to write my negative with the numerator, but you could put it with the denominator as long as it's just in one of them. And my y-intercept is 4. So when I graph, I use the y-intercept first. So my y-intercept of 4 means that I go up 4 on the y-axis. My slope of negative 2/3 is a change in y over a change in x. And you don't have to write that, but you should know by now that slope is change in y over change in x. So that negative 2 means down 2, because that's my change in y, and that 3 means right 3. So if I start at the y-intercept and I go down 2, right 3, I find myself a new point. And if I keep going down 2, right 3, I can find myself multiple points. The opposite of down 2 and right 3 is up 2, left 3, and that can find me even more points. Once I have multiple points on my coordinate plane, I get out a straight edge. And I draw a line using a straight edge that passes through those points. If you don't have a ruler, you can use the edge of a book or the edge of a folder, anything that will let you draw that straight line. And then we label the line with the given equation. So in this case, I would label this with y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4. If you want to be on the safe side, you can put that negative 2/3 in parentheses, but your x should be driven or drawn even with the division bar or above the division bar, just to make sure that you don't have a formatting error. In part B over here, I don't have an equation that's given in y equals mx plus b form, so I want to manipulate this so that it's in y equals mx plus b form. So to do that, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides and get y equals, now we could write minus 5 minus 2x, but that really, it doesn't fit our formatting as well. So I'm going to write negative 2x minus 5 so that it fits that format of y equals mx plus b better. My slope is the coefficient of x, so that's negative 2, but I like to write that as a fraction. So instead of just writing negative 2, I'm going to write negative 2 over 1 for graphing purposes. That way I have my change in y number and I have my change in x number. My b value, my y-intercept, is negative 5. When we graph, we start at the y-intercept. So a y-intercept of negative 5 means down 5 from the origin. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to use that slope of negative 2 over 1. Remember, this is change in y over change in x. So negative 2 means down 2. Positive 1 means right 1. So down 2, right 1. If I try to go down 2, right 1 again, I'll be off the page. So I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to go up 2, left 1. Up 2, left 1. Up 2, left 1. And I can keep doing that for the entire coordinate plane. It's not going to hurt me. Then I grab my straight edge and I draw a line that passes right through all those points. But remember, a line contains arrows at the ends to show that the line extends infinitely in opposite directions. So make sure you have some arrowheads on your line. And then label with the original equation. So my original equation says y plus 2x equals negative 5. Always label with that given equation. We're going to do two more of these together. We have 3x plus 2y equals 8. 3x plus 2y equals 8. That's not y equals mx plus b form. So I want to get it in y equals mx plus b form. So I want to get that y by itself. So to get y by itself, I'll subtract 3x from both sides. Again, I'm going to write the x term first. So I'm going to say 2y equals negative 3x plus 8. And the reason I do that is it fits that y equals mx plus b formatting a little bit better. I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. When I divide by 2, the 2's cancel, so I have y equals. And on the right-hand side, I have to do what's called a v reduction. I divide both parts by 2. So I'm going to leave that negative 3 over 2 in front of the x, because that's y equals mx. And then I'm going to have a plus 4 for my b. So my slope is negative 3 over 2. My y-intercept is 4. On my graph, the y-intercept of 4 means up 4. The slope of negative 3 over 2 means down 3, right 2. So I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3, right 2 to get a new point. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 2. And I'll continue to go down 3 and right 2. And I'll take up all the space that I can. The opposite of down 3, right 2 is up 3, left 2, and that can get me an extra point as well. A line is determined by 2 points, but the more points that you have on your graph, the less chance of you making a mistake. So I draw my line with a straight edge. So like I said, that could be the edge of a book, edge of a folder, ruler, anything that will let you draw that straight line. Make sure you have arrowheads on there, and then make sure you label with the original equation. The original equation says 3x plus 2y equals 8. So last one that I'm going to show you says 2x minus 4y equals 12. If I'm going to graph this, I want to get it in y equals mx plus b form. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this x term over. Subtract 2x from both sides to get negative 4y equals negative 2x plus 12. Then I'll divide by negative 4 on both sides. The negative 4's cancel, so I have y equals, over here I have to do a v reduction. Negative 2 divided by negative 4, well a negative divided by negative is positive. And then I can reduce 2 over 4. 2 over 4 reduces to 1/2 because I can divide both parts by 2. I still have my x, make sure that that x gets written. A positive divided by a negative, right? Positive 12 divided by negative 4 is negative, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. Now that this is in y equals mx plus b form, I'm going to write down my slope. My slope is 1/2. I'm going to write down my y-intercept. My y-intercept is negative 3. I expect you to be writing all this stuff. Every time, write the slope, write the y-intercept. My y-intercept is negative 3, that's where I start. So that's down 3. Down 3 from the origin. My slope of 1/2 means up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2, and I just keep going up 1, right 2, and I'll keep going until I'm right off the graph. I can also do the opposite. I can go down 1, left 2. The opposite direction, down 1, left 2. Down 1, left 2. Then I grab my straight edge, whatever allows me to draw that perfectly straight line, so that I'm not drawing it by hand. When I put my line right through those points, for me, I can adjust, or I can delete and redraw. For you, you might need an eraser to do any adjustments, but make sure that your line passes through those given points. Make sure your line has arrowheads. If you need to exaggerate them, make sure you label with the given equation. The given equation says 2x minus 4y equals 12. So that's a brief introduction to graphing linear equations. I hope that it goes well for you. Thank you.